At first, Pixie Hollow feels only slightly off, like waking up from a strange dream. The daffodils don't open as wide, the streams shimmer less, and fairy wings must beat harder to hover. Tinker Bell notices it most when she sprinkles fairy dust, expecting her usual effortless glide into the morning air. Instead, her wings falter, and she catches herself just in time. Word spreads quickly among the fairies. Rosetta's flower spells last for seconds. Silver Mist's water dances twitch in the air like anxious butterflies. In the evenings, the glow that once danced on dewdrops feels cool and unreliable, as though a distant cloud has wandered between Pixie Hollow and the sun. The fairies gather near the great oak, their whispers uneasy. Queen Clarion stands tall. These days, her radiance seems diminished, and Tinker Bell can't help but wonder if anyone else notices. The queen speaks gently, asking for patience, and tells the fairies to stay vigilant, but Tinker Bell hears the worry trembling beneath her words. Unable to wait, Tinker Bell sets out that night, guided by the faintest flickers of golden dust. She weaves between willow branches and glides past roots and burrows, following the strange, uncertain light. The heart of Pixie Hollow is quieter now, muted. The plants curl in on themselves, and the usual chorus of frogs is silent. As she follows the flickering glow, Tink finds it leads, not outward, but downward, deeper than she's ever ventured. The air grows thick, the colors less vivid. There, among silvered roots and shadowy leaves, she finds a pool of fairy dust, swirling with an unfamiliar, smoky glow. The dust is changed, darker, tinged with violet, pulsing with restless energy. It's not gone, she realizes. It's been altered by something hidden deep within Pixie Hollow. With careful fingers, she tests the dust. It shivers like a frightened animal, repelled by her usual tinkering touch. Tink realizes she can neither force nor fix it with tools, something more subtle is needed. A faint, breathy giggle bubbles from nearby, a sound both playful and haunting. It's Vidya, her old rival, drawn to the mystery. Don't tell me you're going to open it up and fix it with a hammer. Vidya teases, but her eyes darken with concern. Something is hurting the dust, Tink replies quietly. It's not sick, but scared. The two fairies, so different in skill and spirit, work together. They listen to the dust's pulsing rhythm and sense a memory woven into the deep,